Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mara Stock Show. Mara Stock, this is going to be the easiest money you'll ever make. This stock has been lagging behind Riot stock. It's been lagging behind Bitcoin and ETFs. Meaning Bitcoin headed to all-time highs, right? Riot, it's already above the halfway point. $10 is the halfway point. Because the highest Riot has ever gone to is 20. Mara stock, the highest it's ever gone to is 35, and it's sitting at 16. So it's still under that halfway point. Because, 16 times 2 is 32. So, or 35 divided by 2 wouldn't be 16. So you're still getting Mara stock at a discount. I don't know why it's lagging behind. It has the revenues. It's had good earnings. So I believe that we're headed towards a bull run. I cannot give the green light for a bull run just yet until we get that confirmation on the monthly time frame, the crossover on the monthly time frame on Nvidia. Once I see that, that's how I know, like, okay, this is officially a bull run. Because after that monthly crossover on Nvidia, it's just month after month of green. So, with regards to Mara stock, if it's lagging behind, the theory is that because it is lagging behind, and I know some people are going to say, well, it's very volatile, so it's actually moved more, at least dollar-wise, than Riot. Yes, that's true. But relative to highs, it's still over 50% off. Once this gets over that purple line and starts running away to the up and away from the purple line, it's going to get too expensive to be. Like, I'm not going to tell you to buy at 20 or 25 or let alone all-time highs. That's just silly. The best time to buy is right now while it's still cheap. So, we look at the chart here real quick. We zoom out on the weekly time frame. And what do you see? What do you see? Since, let's see, when did we touch this purple line on the weekly? April 11, 2022. Since April 11, 2022, look at the data here. Since April 11, 2022, what's happened? Comes down nice and cheap, gets rejected at the purple line, comes down nice and cheap again, gets rejected at the purple line, comes down nice and cheap again, eventually did break out and went to a high of 35. Here a high of 31, high of 35, came down to the purple line, touched it, back to 27. Came down to purple line, touched it, back to 30. Came down to the purple line, tried to hold, broke down below it, came down nice and cheap to $10. Then after a month and a half, came back to 1663, where it got rejected at the purple line. But it is trying, as you can see, for 1, 2, 3 weeks now. It's going on to 4 weeks. It's trying to break above this weekly WMA because it acts as supported resistance. We know that. So what do you think is going to happen the day it breaks out above it? It's just going to go. And this one can move fast. I mean, these are weekly candles. So in this 1 week here, it went from 17 to 26. This weekly candle, 18 to 23. When you start seeing those big moves like that, these are weekly time frames. That means on the daily time frames, we're just seeing like 10% moves, 18% moves, not 5%, 18%, 10 to 18% moves every day. That's what's happening there. Well, we're going to start to get these big green candles. So I encourage you not to sell too soon. My personal target is 20, but that's because I'm a flipper. Soundhound is right now the big play for me. So that's the one I'm holding for, because that one's lagging too, in my opinion. That one already gave its signal. That's a whole other video. But right now, there's a lot of stocks that are above the 200. And so right now I'm just focused on what's still under that 200 or near that 200 WMA. Because at that point it's just lagging behind. Because it's still moving up. It's not like Mara is not, pumping. It has pumped for the past few weeks. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of upside, and finally a pullback. And here we go. Maybe we're going to break out and go higher. The point is, just because it's lagging behind the market as a whole doesn't mean it's doing bad. I don't know why it does this, but fine by me. It's still pumping, and when the market goes to all-time highs and beyond, this should not only break out above that 200, but go back to 28 plus. 20, 25, and 30 would be the targets. I don't know if it's going to go above 35. That's like the high that we never got above. We never got above 35. We'll see if that happens, but in terms of short term, look for 20. Long term, look for 35. And I guess if you're just looking for some daily flips here and there, I mean, just buy the dip. Just buy the dip and then it goes up, literally. You can definitely scalp it for like 50 cents here and there if you want, because it has that kind of volatility. Anyways, Mara here, classic mean reversion strategy. What does mean reversion mean? It means here's our purple line. The price goes, what's the word I'm looking for? The heist. The heist. The price fluctuates around that purple line, right? And so if it fluctuates around that average, then all we have to do is buy when it's under the average. Which is why I've been buying Mara and Soundhound, and I have my eyes on others, because they're opportunities. And once they run up to 30, some of you who sold too soon are going to be like, oh, I should have held for 30. I mean, the pattern is there. The pattern is there. But I'm definitely not going to hold this one for 30. I'm going to hold, what is it? Soundhound. Soundhound, that one I'm going to hold for 50% plus. That one for sure. That one is AI. So, whereas Mara is just Bitcoin exposure. So it's better for flips, in my opinion. It's better for flips under 20. Once it goes to like 20 and beyond, I'll just be focusing on something else at that point. Let me just look at the monthly crossover on the MACD. Oh yeah, it's coming. So that monthly crossover on the MACD, when it does happen, the big move's already happened, but this is a whole month of green. Look at that. That's a monthly crossover. A whole month of green where we went from 1670 to 27. That could be next. Maybe this whole month is just going to be a big green candle. I don't know. But when that crossover does happen, it's money in the bank. And this is why I've been telling people, like, don't sell yet. It's too soon. Too soon to be selling. Riot stock got its signal. And people wanted to sell this one. Well, they wanted to sell it despite there being a bullish pattern here as well. A bullish falling wedge, which means eventually we're going to break out and go, back to 15 and beyond. Because this is a monthly time frame. Number two, the last time we got a monthly crossover, you can see it pumped from 9 to 15 to the top of this trend line. It got rejected multiple times. Buyers showed up at the trendline support. We would expect sellers to show up at trendline resistance. If this is going to be a beautiful month of nice and green, we should see this touch around 11.50 to 12. Unless it breaks out here and then goes higher. Then at that point we would see 15 and beyond. So it's silly to sell so soon when you see like every monthly crossover. It always happens. It's a rare signal. But when it comes around, like once a year. When it does come around, it's money in the bank. So it's like you'd be doing yourself a disservice. And it works with any stock that has abusable patterns like that. You look at the weekly time frame on Soundhound. What does it do? It gets a crossover signal. You buy on the crossover signal. It goes sideways. And then what happened in the past? Every time it crossed over on that weekly, it went sideways and pumped huge. Here it pumped sideways and went huge eventually. Like every weekly crossover on Soundhound has been what? It's been money. You just got to be willing to hold through the red. These are weekly, monthly time frames that we're talking about with regards to Mara and Riot, because this is focused on Bitcoin exposure, not so much Soundhound. But I just wanted to show you that this works with a lot of stocks. And it's a weekly and monthly time frame. So of course, within those weekly and monthly time frames, you would expect some red days, right? Like that makes sense. Like we're gonna see some pullbacks within those monthly candles. It's not like every day is gonna be green. If that was the case, we'd just wait for the monthly crossover and then every day is green. So just go huge on options. Clearly, I mean, I guess you could technically do that. I think Chavalok, if you're watching this, or Chava Limon, or Lime Boy, I think, or Lime Girl, I don't know. I think that's the translation. Chava Lime Boy, Lime Girl, or I don't know. Maybe he identifies as a girl. I don't know. But if he's watching this, you like buying your options, your long options, your leaps, yeah, leaps. So Mara might be the way to go. It has the volatility. That's why I'm not gonna say Riot. Mara would be better because it has that volatility. So maybe a leap on Mara would it not be a bad idea, especially because it's still got a long way to go, and it has not gotten its monthly crossover. So it's kind of lagging behind. But we know they're gonna follow each other anyways. That's always happened. So if I overlay Riot here, you'll see like it's pretty much 1-for-1. Let me change. Yeah, you can see very clearly. Let me just change these to candles. Where's the candles? Yeah, you can see, big pump, big pump, big pump, then came down, came down. It follows one another. So if anything, maybe use proximity trading and I guess use Riot's monthly signal to buy Mara, which is weird. Again, it's so weird that Mara's lagging behind because it has the better revenues. And I think they're getting into AI infrastructure as well. I'm not sure about that. Don't take my word for it. Anyways, there's a lot going on for Mara. I believe that in the future this will soar to 30. I don't know if it'll go back to previous highs. $80 was the 83. So back in like that huge euphoric bull run, back at the COVID bull run or whatever you want to call it, 2021, you can see this stock went to 56, 58. Here it went to 83. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to go back to 83. That would be insane and it would be unexpected. But, maybe that is possible. Maybe you buy some shares and leave some writing free shares and maybe it goes to 80 and you make a lot of money. It really depends on your time frame. I'm more of a, I guess, shorter term. Like, I'm not looking to hold this for 2 years or 5 years. That's ridiculous. Hell no. I'm mainly looking to flip borrow. But there's definitely money to be made over the longer term. For those of you who like to buy the leaps. Specifically you, Chava Limon, or Lyman, or Chava Lyman. Chava Lyman. Chava Lock. Chava Loco? No, okay, I gotta stop making fun of his name. But, yeah. That's it for the video. I think, as Tom Lee would say, Shades of Lee knows his stuff.